KRBE.
Good morning, and welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show. You know what? It's the boys' club this morning. But
Sausage Fest.
Yeah.
Sausage Fest.
we got all new material for you. Eric is back from vacation.
It feels average. Getting up early sucks, but seeing you guys makes me smile. I miss my radio buds.
Well, what did we miss in the Bahamas?
I had 2 days of rain, but it wasn't, the rain's not bad.
Comes and goes.
Down, yeah. But it was like somebody in our family got ill, so it's like I had to go to a different part of the area over the bridge. We stayed in Atlantis, so they take that big bridge. Remember we went there for...
Yeah, Atlantis is a great resort. It's so fun.
And then we had to go do some things there with the doctor and stuff, so that was interesting. But at least I was on the rainy days, so I didn't miss any of the days in the park and stuff. But no, it was just a great time being with the family. It was 10 of us. Dinners, drinking, swimming, just doing nothing. Stuff that Kevin and Ryan would hate.
Just lounging.
You'd be seeing the jet skis and the parasail being like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine over here.
Yeah, somebody's new to the show. Kevin and I are more like the adrenaline junkies. We'll be out there doing the parasailing and all that stuff, where you're more like the chill kind of vacationer.
Riding horses.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do the horse thing.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
Just, I wanted to do that with my wife, like romantic, like Kevin did with Booster.
I mean, we did it as a family. I wouldn't consider it very romantic. We've done a lot of different horse adventures in many different places. I will say that and when we did it in Costa Rica, it was the sickliest horses.
You had a sick horse?
They were small.
All of them were sickly. All of them were emaciated.
Oh, my God.
And you felt real bad about riding on them. And then they would fight each other as they try to get up the trail and bite each other.
Fighting horses? You had fighting sick horses.
Just think about it. They do it every day, so they got like a beef with each other once in a while. Like,
Absolutely, they bite each other on the tail end, and then if you get bit, if your horse gets bit, it's going to take off, and then you're like, oh.
That's true. If
going
you've never my mother had horses like her whole life, so I've been on horses. I'm not good at that at all.
Neither am I.
If you have never been on a horse and it goes into a gallop, it's a wake up call.
Plus, you don't realize the next day you're like, man, inside of your legs hurt. Like, man,
you better be wearing jeans and no Crocs, no shorts. You're going to regret it.
Oh no!
You said balls.
Hey, if you stand up in the stirrups enough or sit yourself up, then you're not hitting yourself there as much. There's a way to do it right. It's just that, none of us know how to do that
But it's
yet.
the greatest Graham photo. Everybody loves to do it if they, lease a horse and you're on the beach, that crystal blue water, and they go like knee deep and you've got a sunset and you're on that horse.
Our horses couldn't touch. They were swimming with us on them.
Really?
That'd be weird.
And then when we did get to the shore, or where it was like 4 feet deep, they told some of the horses, like mine, to put their little paws. They're not paws.
Hooves. Yeah, paws.
Put their little hooves
You've been
in
watching
the air.
dogs too much.
The horse paw.
Yeah, and jump in the air. I felt like, whoa.
But then you worry about being stung by a jellyfish or something.
What would happen if your horse
That's
got
what I mean,
stung?
like the horse.
Well,
wow, yeah.
They have
I never thought
hair.
about that.
They have fur.
Would that protect them?
I would think so.
No,
I've seen
sure
some
it
hairy
could hurt.
guys in that pool, and then the ocean over there. They get stung,
And that
I'm sure it
whole
hurts
thing
them.
about peeing on it is an urban myth. Like I don't think that is really the course of action to take.
I
You
guess
get
if you're
stung by a
desperate, though,
jellyfish.
the last thing, at least you got something, some ammonia or whatever.
I think the original, the theory behind that is that your urine is going to somehow sterilize the wound, and I don't think
That's
that's...
supposed to relieve the pain. But the lifeguards have that little bottle of ammonia.
Do
or
they?
Something they say on the beach. I don't know.
They've done it in so many TV shows and movies.
Yeah, now it's just a comedy joke.
The best ever, if you've never watched The Heartbreak Kid with Ben Stiller and Malin Ackerman and Michelle Monaghan, at the end of the movie, he gets stung by a jellyfish.
She does that.
And what she has to do, this is a little inside joke for the people who have seen it.
You know.
You know.
Well, this past weekend was Pride.
When did we find out?
Ahmad and I hosted the parade part of it. Of course, we were at the festival for a little bit and got warmed up.
Yeah, how was it? Was it hot?
It was bearable. because usually it's around the hundreds, but this was 91 and it had been raining, the days leading up to it. So I thought it was just fine.
Right.
We were hanging out behind the stage in, of course, the VIP area, enjoying a cocktail before we went to work.
And hot wings.
And hot wings, I turned around. I was like, where'd those wings come from? He is covered in barbecue sauce.
Come on.
I'm like, we have to go host this in a minute. Clean
I was
off.
like, oh, wait, I have a white shirt on. I can't do too much.
Yeah, now you're all stained.
No, I was good. Not a drop on the shirt.
He did really well in terms of that. No, he did really well the entire evening.
There's he was turning
There's
up.
there's so much to happen. It was a huge party. You could tell that Beyonce probably did.
Put a dent in the crowd.
Yes, she did a bit.
Talk about bad timing.
I know. I saw that there was a mishap at the show, so haha, sucks he went that night.
Actually, they could have saw history there. Well,
They could have. If she slid off of there, that thing had fallen off. We'll get to that in Scoop. Yes. But the parade was so much fun. If we called your name wrong, it's because we were not given a list or a script. We had to read the banners that were coming by us.
Did you just like, okay, I can't pronounce that. What the hell is that?
Baby, turn the sign.
no.
We can't see it.
Why did they not provide you with it? That sounds disorganized.
Well, hey.
I ain't going to use those words, but I will say maybe next time they'll have that. Anyway, it was still super fun.
Absolutely.
Looked like you guys from the clips I saw. Looked like a
Killed it. He brought so much energy to the crowd. Did a lot of great fill work. When the parade starts to get clogged up, you have to fill. We had nothing in front of us to fill with. But luckily we had about 22 hosts on stage.
Oh, wow.
22. I didn't see a bunch of people there. I thought they were like people doing like
2 microphones.
Only 2 microphones for all those people?
Well, they eventually got some extra microphones, but it was 2 microphones at first.
Now we came out of the VIP from the festival, and we came up to where we thought the stage was going to be, but then it was not there. It was across the parade route. Now, the parade route had already been secured with fences tied together.
Yeah, how do you get
so
up?
we could not get over to the other side at all. So we had to keep going down further and further and further and further to find a break in said fence. Well, finally, we had to jump up.
I love this story.
Oh, my God. We were in a park that seemed to be elevated from the street, but it was probably about maybe 8 feet off the ground. So people were over there kind of like narrowly squeezing down through the corner of it. Well, we just jumped off the side of it. We were like, we're in a hurry. We totally hit it like, Tom Cruise stunt kids. And jumped over that. And then we went over to the police officers, and they're like, yeah, no, not really, bud.
They're like, how do we know you're the host? Anybody can say that.
And, okay.
No. Oh, it's good that
Good one, buddy. And then I hear, hey, that's Special K. And this one officer grabs me by the shoulder, and Ahmad, he's like, y'all know who this is? They're like, no.
Now, that being said, I wanted to ask.
He got us through and got us to the stage, and we went on.
Like, darn it, I was waiting to beat somebody.
I just wanted to ask, Kevin and Ahmad, did you have one of those moments, because you guys are wandering around the crowd, where, look, honestly, you guys have inspired a lot of people, but did you ever have somebody come up to you and say, you know what, you being so brave and talking about this on the air, it really helped me in my journey? Did you have any of those kind of moments?
That all the time, Special K.
Over the years, I've had many people either reach out privately or when I meet them in public. Usually, they're not trying to tell a sad story.
That day's more about celebration,
on that day.
right?
Yeah.
But
that's like 2 in the morning when they're drunk.
Yeah.
Yes. When Kevin gets weepy and starts crying and getting emotional.
I feel you, baby.
Which is amazing, because the times that we've all partied together, Kevin, you can be like the most... Just absolutely, you put your heart out there and you're emotional and you're crying, and the next morning it's like, hey, what happened to that sensitive guy? He just threw me under the bus in a meeting.
Yeah, I like drunk Kevin better. He's more thoughtful.
That was a brownout. I didn't go out to the clubs afterwards, though. I took all of our giveaways, and I met Booster on the other side of the city, and he took me to the Taco Bell. Now, Ahmad went into the neighborhood and turned up with all of the younger folks.
Yeah, I was
because I wasn't about to go out on amateur night.
Yeah.
Bars, and it was amateur night. Like
I
all
knew
the
it was
bars,
going to be. I knew it. I knew
But I was
it.
like, where the hell do these people come from?
Like, who the hell are y'all? Each bar that I usually could just walk into, there was like a 20-minute line. And there was another 20-minute line to get drinks. So I said, screw it. I went to Numbers. That was a quick, easy cash line. I got my phone stolen there. And I had to wait like 3 hours at the bus stop for the next bus because it was so late.
How'd you get your phone back?
I didn't. I had to get a new one. It's still somewhere like turned off on the Go Freeway. I think they're
So you're not able to hit the erase all?
I don't think so. No, I can't even
Has to
get
be
into
on.
my Apple ID right now. So we'll figure that out after the show. But other than that, everyone was
That sounds
telling
like a
me,
good night to me.
hey, everyone was
party.
telling me my braids looked cute. I was getting hit on left and right, so that was fun.
Nice. I am just so glad I didn't go.
Yeah, no, it was a
to
mess.
pay.
I've been doing it, Kev, for like 20 years.
Right. It's like been there, done that too many times. I know better to go in there and have to surge price for the Uber, then
Right.
$20 to get into the club after you waited 20 minutes to get into, and then
Right.
when you get into the club, you can't even get a drink because it is taking so long to see the bartender, or it's so packed you can't even get to the bar. No, thank you. I'll go on an off weekend.
I really want to apologize because I 100% wanted to come, and I started not feeling well, and I'm like worried, am I sick again or something? But it's that Sahara dust, and they say it's really, really bad right now. It's traveled more than 4,000 miles from Africa, and they say it carries microscopic particles of silica and quartz and all these things. So you start inhaling this stuff, and it's like,
It's back.
yes, it's back with a vengeance.
I was driving on the highway, and I noticed there was like some like dust or something coming up on them around the tires and stuff of people.
Isn't it amazing that 4,000 miles, the sand from the Sahara Desert, 4,000 miles later, and it's getting us sick here?
And I was looking at the news last week. I saw you had some lady just hanging out with a gun on a lawn
Yes.
chair.
Oh, my
On
God.
45?
Like
She got in an accident and didn't want to deal with the cops, so she took out a lawn chair, sat in the middle of 45.
Was it Thursday or
Put
Friday?
a gun to her head and stopped traffic on both sides
Crazy.
for a while, maybe 3 hours.
Was that Thursday or Friday? Traffic.
I think that was Thursday, wasn't it?
Thursday.
It wasn't Friday.
It was definitely Thursday, yeah.
So they eventually bring a family member there to help talk her down because, I mean, there may be hints of mental illness here, especially if,
yeah, probably.
you're doing something like that.
She didn't hurt anybody though, right?
No, thank God everybody, came out
I
unscathed.
saw like the trucks going past her, with the cameras and stuff.
I've seen like 5 different POVs of people driving past her, like on TikTok.
That would just suck. Stuck in traffic the other way too. You're like,
Right.
come on.
Well,
Like-
what would you do? Would you be one of those people like, I got an important meeting. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and just chance it and drive by her, even if she's armed with a weapon.
Okay.
Well,
I guess by that time they stopped
Yeah,
traffic.
once the
but
cops
still.
get
no,
front,
I
you
mean,
can't
if
go.
the cops hadn't been there yet.
Usually-
I mean, like, just duck and go by her real quick.
Oh, my God. Nothing like no work is worth losing your life over.
Hell no.
So we have a lot going on this morning. We have Rose's update at 7:20 with Claire. Zach was catfished last week and took the bait. We're going to find out how her weekend went.
Also, dumb question. Amnesty. It's DQA last day of the month. Oh, tomorrow's my anniversary. Oh,
oh
wow.
my gosh,
Oh.
what year?
18.
Nice.
Whoa.
That's crazy. 18 years ago.
Wow.
Damn. So yeah, we'll do that at 7. And I always say this is the toughest week of radio because so many people are on vacations, people are sleeping in. So hopefully we can get you guys to call with some good questions. It can be about us. It can be about anything you want.
And see, that's
Just
the
things you
thing.
don't know that you've always wondered. We're not going to make fun of you. We're just going to try and help you get the answer.
And
And somebody out there knows.
If you ever wanted to be on this show, on the Roll and Ride Show with Eric, this would be your chance to actually get on the air.
Like I saw Judge Hildago Friday or something too, complaining about the tolls. Like we always wondered. Like remember how they always said the tolls would always.
Once it's paid off, it'll be free. Yeah, right.
That's never happened.
No, they never go back. It's just like when we had an oil crisis and airline tickets surged in price and they made these astronomical prices. Well, they didn't come back down.
Charging us for luggage.
Exactly.
That BS. So hey, we're coming up next though. We got to play that audio. Kevin was talking about Beyonce. I'm sure a lot of our listeners were there 2 nights ago and
There was
last
a
night.
technical error.
Yeah, wow, that would have been bad if
They
something.
tried to get my girl out
yeah,
of here.
I'm like, Ahmad, did you go to the show?
I didn't.
Okay, so I know a lot of people did. If you want to text 37530, if you liked the show, thought it was great, Thought it was okay. The last one was better. All that good stuff.
Yeah, we'd like to hear your review.
And also, Fast and Furious, got some news about that with Vin Diesel.
Oh, cool.
There's something that he wants to do in the last final movie.
Yeah, which is the next one, right?
Yeah, he has something he wants to do, which can be easily done since they've been in space before.
That's true.
They can do this.
If you took a Volkswagen into outer space with a rocket strapped to it, I think you could do this. It's going to be sunshine today. Like I said, the Sahara dust is out there. If you're an allergy sufferer, it's going to be brutal. High around 93 right now, 77 degrees, and 6:14 on the Roula and Ryan Show.
KRBE's Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
Celebrity Scoop.
All right, brought to you by Taqueria Arandas. So don't forget, 7:20 this morning, in less than an hour, we've got a Roses update with Claire after she found out that Zach was definitely cheating. We catfished him. So much going on this morning. But Eric, why don't you take the lead here?
Okay, so this weekend I was in the Bahamas, but all last week, but I was still trying to see what's going on in Houston, and I saw Beyonce was here Saturday night and last night. I know I had some friends go last night.
Yup.
I know they said it was a late start, but everyone looked like they were having a blast. I was just curious if you guys knew anybody. I never talked to anyone from Saturday night show to see how did she play any of her old stuff, or was it mostly just all the new album? You guys know? Or
we had a lot of staff that went, but I did not speak to them yet. We usually connect on a Monday.
I mean, you were really you had your own thing. You were hosting Pride Parade.
Right. So I only have this audio for y'all to share, but I bet you Ahmad has spoken to a lot of people.
Now, do we need to set this up because
she's in like a giant car with like 4 cables connected to it. It's like taking her
flying
across.
car.
That's really cool. I'm sure most people have seen it, but she stops halfway through.
They had a breakdown and then it tilted.
Yeah, that's scary.
And they had to lower her down to the ground.
Now, was she strapped in?
From what I saw, it looked like she was just sitting on it.
You would think they would have strapped
I'm sure
in.
there's some kind of safety.
Like a little rope, but here's what it sounded like from people's point of view.
Stop.
Oh. Bring her down! What's happening? She stopped the concert. This is not normal.
I want to thank y'all for loving me. If ever I fall, I know y'all catch me.
You just wonder what kind of a butt chewing somebody's getting after she gets off the stage when the concert's done. Like, who did that?
Right? I mean,
80,000 people, you made me look like an idiot.
It could have been just the machine malfunctioned, and how do you know unless you're running the machine if it's going to malfunction? But I'm sure someone did get fired.
And is that a Beyonce employee or is that like an NRG employee?
We
she
don't
has
have
unions here, so like up in like New York, like you can't touch anything unless
unions.
They have like 5 union guys on one
screwing a light bulb. It's true. So she was doing 16 carriages when that happened, and they actually cut that number from the Sunday show. No car, no song. They just cut it.
Yeah,
she don't even want to think about it anymore.
I'm not going back up in that thing.
Hell no. I would think about that too. Yeah, so I guess people have been texting saying it was a great show. They had a great time. So just a late night, I bet. So a lot of people probably sleeping in even more today because I know traffic was light.
It really
coming
was.
in. Looks like it's light this whole week, I assume.
I mean, you got the vast majority of people because Friday is the 4th of July. Or is it Friday or is it Thursday? Wait a second.
It's Friday, right?
Okay. So you've got people building their vacations around. Yeah, it's Friday, July 4th.
Kevin's got that all planned.
Yeah.
Don't you, Kev?
Yeah, I got some cool things going on.
What you doing?
Myself and about 200 elderly folks are getting on a river cruise from Amsterdam to Switzerland.
Oh, you're going to have so much fun.
You're going to knock that age down. Like, the average
bring down
age
the average.
The average age is probably like 68.
Now, if you had the choice, you're getting on a cruise ship.
It's not a cruise ship. It's a river.
Know,
it's
like
a river boat.
Yeah.
Riverboat, yeah.
But say you're on a river boat and you have the option of either being with 100 or 200 people that are 18 to 21 or senior citizens. Which one would you rather be on?
Probably senior citizens. Quiet down. I'm trying to sleep.
It's not like it's 2 days you're doing this. You're going to be on this river cruise for like like 8 days, right, or something?
Yeah, 8 nights is going to be a long time. I know it's going to be a long time for Booster. I've been out to sea for months at a time, but Booster has never taken a cruise of this length. Now, he is not worried at all because we're going to be able to see land the entire time.
You just jump off and swim over if you
are in a port all day, so I think you cruise at night, from what I understand. But Booster and I are going to hang out in Amsterdam for a couple days leading up into that. So
you may not make the boat.
They'll be on bicycles, high as hell.
Eric, what's the longest you've ever been at sea?
Just like 7-day cruise.
Okay,
that's as long.
So it's a one solid week at sea.
I've never been like Kevin, where he went out there for 2 months.
You've literally been out at sea for 2 months at a time, Kevin. Where you didn't touch land.
Texas A&M Maritime School, University, sorry. They will take you out for what's called the summer at sea, and you do it every single summer when you're in the program. So I got to do one of the summers when I was there, and it was the coolest thing ever. And if you get a chance to do that kind of experience, you'll know whether you can handle being at sea for that long or not. The thing that got me was being away from my family for so long and away from. Yeah, I felt like there was
Wi-Fi
FOMO.
probably wasn't that great in the mid 2000s or early 2000s.
Yeah, not late 90s.
Yeah. Probably nothing good there.
There was no Wi-Fi. What is that?
Wi-Fi? What is this you talk of?
You plug it in over here, buddy.
Oh, my gosh. By the way, yesterday was the 18th anniversary of the debut of the iPhone. Came out in June of 2007, and the iPhone came in 2 models, the 4G, and it was $499, and the 8G for $599. But remember, in the beginning, it was just tied to AT&T. Like, all the other carriers didn't have the iPhone.
I didn't have it yet. Right when I got married, I didn't have it. I'm like, man, it would have been cool to have.
Changed the world.
Man, 18 years ago. I thought my daughter that about how we did. Because she's like, oh, she asking something about the phone. I'm like, she's like, hey, Dad, do you think Mom ever looked at your phone when you were dating? I'm like, man, you've been listening to our show too much.
Well, I got to tell you, honey, it was attached to the wall in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's what I told her. Like, we just had flip phones and stuff, crazers and razors, and
you were always on the cutting edge, though. I remember you got the Crazer. You're the first one to get that.
I love the Crazer because it was smaller than the Razor. The Razor was thick.
Could that thing get online, like on the internet? It wasn't a smartphone.
Back then, he wanted the small phones. That was cool.
I was so mad when the iPhone came out because by that time I had the little teeny Hershey bar phone.
Oh yeah, this little
that all you could do was make calls and text, and when you text someone, you had to go 666, 555 to get the letter to come up properly.
There was no keyboard.
No, but it felt great at the time, and I was so mad that I had to get my email on my phone. I don't want people to email me on my phone.
I'm like, when I see my average is 6 hours a day on my phone, I'm like, what the hell did I do with those 6 hours? Before
I thought you were going to say, I wish
Facebook.
It was 7 or 8.
No, usually it is. That was vacation.
Oh, wow. Now, you teased the Fast and Furious. They're doing one final movie.
Yeah, and Vin
Diesel.
He had 2 requests. One was, we got to take it back to L.A., take it back to street racing. He realized it's gotten a little crazy.
Yeah, when they went into space,
they're like a team that works with the FBI and the whatever the.
Is that what they're doing now?
Remember how they're always helping The Rock out and they're always doing.
It morphed into they're an elite crack squad working for a covert operation for the government, and it started out as just like, hey, we're street racing.
Fun, but it was fun though. And they went to Brazil and they had to steal a safe, but they had to chain the 2 cars down the street.
And then they're
stuff.
Jumping out of the plane with a car. And
somehow that car, that must have been the longest runway ever because that was like a 12-minute, 13-minute scene. I'm like, oh, that airplane should have taken off by now.
Right?
Didn't do it. It's like a NASCAR or something, or F1 or something. Just went in a circle.
Oh, I saw the preview for that, by the way. That F1 with Brad Pitt looks
we're gonna
awesome.
talk about that. So basically, he wants that, and then he wants Paul Walker in the last movie.
Well,
he didn't say how they're going to do it, but obviously they can.
AI now.
Yeah, now that think about the Star Wars movie, the one with the old man. They made him.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, or
no, like the old bad guy from the 70s. They brought him back in the Rogue One.
Oh, that was in Rogue One, yeah, Peter Cushing. And the technology's changed so much since then. It looks so real now. You can buy AI apps and actually make yourself look like you're in a movie, and it looks real.
And I think he wants to do it out of respect because obviously Paul Walker's character was not killed. He went off in the sunset with his wife and kid. kid, I believe.
But yet his wife would come out on the heist, and he was home supposedly with the kids.
Yeah, like that'd work.
That was a little bit hard to buy.
He was always about being a cop and undercover and doing all the crazy stuff. But yeah, so we'll
wrap it up with Paul Walker in the final episode.
It could happen.
Talk about F1. I want to go see that movie. How about doing that in that 4X?
Oh, yeah, the chair moving around like that.
I bet
You might have just sold me.
Oh, I think I'm going now.
Because Twister was cool last year with that, because you felt like you're in the tornado, you saw the smoke. They're going to put like burnt rubber in there. They're going to make all the smells.
But they have that little of air that goes by your head, like when you're on it. That'd be cool.
It was number 1, made 55 mil. How to Train Your Dragon, 19. Elio, was that one Elo? Or
Elio.
Elio?
Elio? Mm-hmm. What's Elio about?
It's a boy with a cape that allows him to like travel across dimensions.
Cartoon?
And, his big thing is he wants to meet aliens in real life, and he gets to.
Made 10.7. Megan 2.0 made 10.2.
Really?
I just watched that.
Better than that.
I did too.
I guess people weren't in the mood for scary movies.
They were like, and it's not even a scary.
It's not really a scary
movie. It's funny
movie
now.
It's
yeah,
funny.
They've taken it like the Chucky route.
And 28 years later, I never saw the first one.
Me neither.
What's
but
the first
I saw
one?
This one, and you don't need to see the first. It's really, really good.
But wasn't the first one called 28 Days?
Yeah, 28 days and 28 weeks, and this one's
Is that
28
Murphy?
years.
What's his name?
Cillian Murphy.
Was he?
Yes, he was in the
in
first
both of
one.
them?
I believe so.
Or maybe
and
he
he's in
died in this first one.
too.
I don't know. I never saw the first.
I know. I barely saw the first one, but this last one was really great. It's a story of a community that like found an island away from the mainland with the zombies, and they only go on the mainland for like resources and stuff.
And then they got to deal with the bad guys.
Yes,
the zombies. All right, I'll check that one out.
Coming up next, we're going to go round the table. What you got?
Well, Sarah McLachlan. Mm-hmm. She's not happy.
I saw this.
Even she hates her own song.
Oh, because of the puppies in the commercial?
Yeah, she hates her ASPCA commercial. I'm like, what? How can you hate that? You've brought so much awareness. But even she says she hates it, and I'll tell you why.
All right, we'll find out what that's all about next on the Roll and Ride Show with Eric and 104.1 KRBE.
Each be able to get our stories in. That's the fun part. We'll start with Sarah McLachlan. Old Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah, anytime I hear her song, it's got to be in that TV commercial for puppies.
In the arms of an angel. Yeah, it's for the ASPCA commercial, and she admits she hates it also. That it depresses her watching it. But like, it gets the point across, though. It helps.
You got to pull on the heartstrings.
But she didn't even write that song for it. Like it was a Sarah McLachlan song that they licensed.
Yeah, she's just like, she's like, oh God, it's awful. And she can't bear to watch it herself. The emotional punch, however, did its job because that spot has raised $30 million for the ASPCA in just 1 year.
Oh, wow.
So that's why she's hating on the song, how it hurts her, but not because of like, and she knows it's for a great cause.
Am I imagining things, or is that like a 2-minute commercial?
It pretty much is.
Because it feels longer than a minute.
They play it on Cartoon Network all the time. I was like, well, this is depressing.
They do that for a reason.
Is that what it is?
The kids are watching. They're like, Mom, Dad, let's get a puppy. Let's save a puppy.
You're right. Yeah.
When I was a kid, it was a lady, she's blonde, Susan Struthers or something.
Sally Struthers.
Sally Struthers. She was in Ethiopia and helping the kids, and the kids, they had no food, so their bellies would expand and stuff. And they're like, for the price of a cup of coffee. That was her line.
But it was effective.
Yeah, I still remember that. It's just the price of a cup of coffee.
And back then, a cup of coffee was like $1. Now with Starbucks,
not even $1
like,
back then. It's probably 50 cents.
Yeah, now it could cost you like $10.
I just saw a story of this lady from Africa. She would see those commercials, and she would tell her kid, like, you see, those are your siblings. I sent them there because they were acting bad.
No way.
You want to go there, too? You better start acting right. I was like, that is insane.
But, hey, desperate times for desperate measures help parents go. What do you got, Kev?
So this is so cool. I wish I was there, but this happened in East Detroit, where a car wash owner's dying wish was to give back in a big way. So what he did was, after he passed from Alzheimer's, his wish was for a helicopter to fly over one of the streets and drop thousands of dollars for folks to go grab.
What?
Wow.
Now,
awesome.
this happened in East Detroit, where the cars all stopped, and for about 30 minutes, the area was filled with a peaceful scramble for cash.
I was going to ask you, was it
No
car
fights.
wreck fights?
Yeah, I would
No
think it
wrecks,
could get brutal.
no fights. And there's it's on Twitter, and you can see this helicopter just all of a sudden fly low and dump out all this cash, and it just goes flying into the air magically.
Wow.
Now, what would you guys do?
I'd want to do that, but I'd want to see it. Like if I knew I was going
Right.
to die, like next week.
Oh, yeah. Almost like a living funeral. Like, get to see it before it actually happens.
Or dump it with my ashes.
Oh,
and the money.
dirty dollars.
Everyone's up there with their mouth open.
Hey, I got 100, but it's got part of Grandpa on it.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, say you're Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos rich. You guys are the richest people on the planet. When you pass, would you rather just give money to everybody, or would you say, I could wipe out cancer, or I could pick a cause and just eliminate one thing from the planet?
Eliminating cancer should be a top goal. I mean, I feel like more people in the world suffer from that than anything.
Well, I
pretty
mean,
cool.
just like if you could eliminate a disease versus everybody on Earth would get like $100.
But there's so many different cancers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like then he puts all that money in, and then they start fighting over that, and then how much goes to administration stuff, and then
Yes.
all that stuff. And you try and do a good thing, and then people start skimming off the top.
And people still complain. It doesn't matter. Like if you see a really wealthy celebrity and they donate like $1 million, you'll always have the trolls saying, "Really? That's all you could give?"
What if you gave each American Elon Musk $1 million?
He could. I think he
'Cause
could
he could do it.
He could do that.
Especially if he was dying.
Yes.
I'd be willing to bet.
Not that I want him to die. I'm just saying if he was. Well, that's it.
I'd be willing to bet that if you gave every American $1 million, that 30% of them would have the whole thing spent within a year.
No, it's like the lottery winners. You win the lottery, and you hear those people are bankrupt within like 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, they don't know how to handle it.
And then everything will just be jacked up the prices. Every
that's
house,
true.
everything. Will,
Oh, you're right.
The economy.
The economy will just go through everyone will be too rich. McDonald's burgers will be like $50.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
It's time for What's Going Down in H-Town on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
104.1 KRBE.
Now, Eric, I know you just got back from vacation. Did you watch the Astros? Were you able
Oh,
to
yeah.
catch any of that?
Yeah, I made sure in this one area I said, "Hey, put the game on." I was gonna put some money on them, but it was pretty great weekend for me because my family are Cub fans, and it's nice to see we beat them to 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah, we had a shutout of the Chicago Cubs on Sunday that lifted the Astros to a 2-0 win.
And
a
beat the
series
Phillies
victory.
too, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. I know it over and over again.
And then the Phillies couldn't. Then they leave here, and then they go and score 11 runs. So I guess they just can't score against the Astros.
Too hot.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people right now, myself included, it feels like you've got a cold, but it's really just allergies. The Sahara dust is back with a vengeance. It traveled more than 4,000 miles from Africa into the Gulf of Mexico, carrying microscopic particles of, silica and quartz. Like, we're inhaling this stuff. and
Every
it's
year,
so
this stuff
brutal.
shows up.
So it causes respiratory inflammation, irritation, infections.
Do they get stuff from us?
No, it doesn't blow over that direction.
Like, does it go around? Like,
No.
what happens to? Do we send anything? Like, is there a morning show, a breakfast show, and some other country? Like, oh, this American crap's coming over here.
You're right.
I don't think it's
Like,
there's no American tree pollen heading that direction.
Anywhere? Do we have
Maybe bugs from us? Like our mosquitoes go over there?
or maybe our trash.
maybe the
We
trash.
do so much dumping. That's horrible. So 18 years ago today, in June of 2007, the world changed with the release of the original iPhone. Now, I know
You know
people
what that
say,
means?
oh, there was always the Android.
That was
before.
today.
I think it was yesterday.
I'm
was
gonna go
the
look in our
18th
book.
anniversary.
What year was it?
2007. So I believe the original release date
For
was
DQA,
June
I'm going to go
29th.
look on that date because we sent Kevin on that day
Mm-hmm.
with fake phones with eyeballs on it.
Yes, and we call them
Phones.
iPhones.
And we went to,
People
you went
were-
to the Dillards over there by in the
the
Galleria.
Galleria?
People were mad.
I wouldn't be surprised if you got death
But
threats.
that's like I left work or missed work.
I was late for work. I drove all the way from Conroe.
But they
I
weren't
had
as bad.
to-
Some people laughed.
Yeah, they did, but I had to stand on top of the radio station truck so that they wouldn't get at me.
Oh, the tall one.
And they weren't even phones. They were just the
little plastic.
Toys R Us.
That's so funny.
Dollar store phones for kids with an eye attached to it.
Oh, my God.
We give her
Terrible.
like 100 of them.
You're lucky they didn't turn that van over.
I don't have the, 'cause back then we saved those on CD.
We'd burn the show on a
I
CD.
think Roula's got them at her storage unit or something.
Oh, I'm wondering what kind of condition those are in now.
Right?
Well, it's inside. It's air conditioned. It's not gonna be
Because they
there.
would try and play it back. It's like,
I'm going to go look in the book, though, because we have books that for each year, each day, each show we do, we talk about what we've done.
now we have a catalog.
We used to do it all the time. Every year we'd send Mumbles to the store. That's how big. You guys don't realize how big iPhones were back then.
Oh, God, yeah.
Remember that Fox News local would do get in front of the store, the Apple store and stuff too. With Mumbles would take his shirt off and have it Mumbles.
Didn't we have Mumbles in a
painted on.
diaper at one point?
He was in a diaper with the phone painted on his body. He was all over TV. It's on YouTube.
So you can easily find that on YouTube.
Yeah, I forgot. It's on
Mumbles
it's all
in a
out
diaper.
there. Man, good old days.
Y'all were putting Mumbles through it.
Yeah, he loved it.
He loved
He
it.
did.
He did.
All right, coming up next, you mentioned it's the end of the month. Dumb question amnesty. Now, if you've ever wanted to be on the Roula and Ryan show with Eric, now would be your chance because there are so few people right now that are
The
calling
traffic
in.
is slow out there. Like when I say slow, I mean nobody's out there really.
Yeah,
As
a
much
lot of
as
people
they-
on vacation already, or staycation, or whatever it might be, or sleeping in.
But if you have questions about the show, behind the scenes stuff you want to know about,
Members of the show.
if you want to know things that you've always wondered about, if we don't know the answer, can't find it, somebody listening most likely knows the answer.
All right, the lines are wide open right now. 833-390-KRBE. That's 833-390-5723. Dumb question amnesty next on the Roula and Ryan show with Eric.